And on our top story, we're taking a closer look at this year's Upper Applegate response and why it's playing out so differently than last year. I joined fire crews on the front lines to see their efforts firsthand. Though the fire started in nearly the same spot and under similar conditions, the outcome has been very different. Firefighters had a handle on it within the first day, cutting the acreage by more than half, and there are clear reasons why. The Upper Applegate Fire has burned 468 acres so far, with containment well past 70% while crews are still mopping up. The scale of this year's fire is notably smaller than the one that burned here last June.
Behind us on this hillside is the only area where the Upper Applegate Fire actually burned down to a road system. This is where firefighters were able to hold it off and keep it from spreading.
Last year's fire in the same area reached more than 1,100 acres and cost just over $7.2 million to fight. This year's cost is still being tracked, but officials expect it to be significantly less.
Last year, we still had a lot of those folks in those trainings. They were leaving the classroom to come to respond to the Upper Applegate Fire. So it made a huge difference as far as response.
Will early staffing become a standard practice moving forward?
We're going to do everything that we can to just keep furthering this effort for response readiness and bringing people on early.
Crews with the Bureau of Land Management spent the winter cutting and removing thousands of dead trees along key access roads throughout the Upper Applegate to shave response time and protect firefighters.
This road had thousands of dead trees. It would have taken firefighters a long time to be able to come in here and cut out the trees and make it a safe access point. They might have even not come to the spot.
BLM told me that thinning projects like this one are one of the most effective tools to reduce fire severity, but the pace of that work is falling short of regional goals.
We only have enough funding and staff to be able to treat somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 acres a year. So we know we're behind. So if this work hadn't been completed, if this fire had gotten bigger, there would have been an added cost, not to mention the time and effort and risk to firefighters of having to come into a stand full of dead trees.
Logs removed from last year's fire area totaled enough wood to build more than 80 homes, but agencies say the remaining threat both from fire and fuel remains high without continued mitigation.
While BLM's out here doing this work in the winter, we're also doing mitigation work where we can. It becomes the responsibility of the landowner and the folks who live in these areas to make sure that they're doing what they can to create defensible space.